Alright, in this problem we are working on the metric conversion problem, which, let's see, that is from chapter 3, problem number 6. Let me put that here. That is chapter 3, problem 6. Okay, and here we're creating a class that is will convert inches to centimeters and gallons to liters, right, given the user input value. So let's go ahead and get started. This class, let's see, it's public class metric conversion is the name we want. Class body and public static. This will have a main method, of course, and we want two methods in here. One to convert inches to centimeters, so I'm going to call this one convert to centimeters, and one to convert to liters. Alright, so that's what the basic outline of the class will look like. Let's see. So main metric conversion, right? Its main method accepts an integer value from the user at the keyboard. So again, we need to decide, are we going to use scanner or are we going to use J option pane? Again, I'm going to use J option pane, and of course we are going to have to, if we're going to use that, we're going to have to convert from strings to integers. So here it does say the main method accepts an integer value from the user at the keyboard. So that might mean they want you to use scanner class, but as long as you convert it over, I think it's fine. So okay, so I'm going to have a string that's a variable that's going to hold the input from the user from the J option pane. To use the J option pane class, the show input dialog method, and then a prompt right here, please enter an integer. And then of course, right, input number is a string, so I'm going to have to convert that over to an integer number. So I'm going to need an integer variable. I'm just going to call it number, and then I'm going to use integer parse int, and then input number, and that will turn that string integer into a type of int right here, and I'll store that result in number there. Okay, so the main method accepts an integer value from the user at the keyboard and in turn passes it the entered value to two methods. So so let's work on this convert one. I'm going to have to pass that number into this method right here. So I'm going to need a parameter, and I'm just going to call it num. And then inside there I'm going to have to convert inches to centimeters using this conversion factor. So since that is not going to change, I'm going to call it a final and type double, and then, as is customary, put its name in all caps, 2cm, and initialize it to 2.54. So that's a constant there because of the final keyword. That's not going to change. If this method converts to centimeters, well, that's always going to be the same. So, and then here I'm going to display a message to the user, to the screen, using the JOption pane class and show message dialog. And so the message that I'm going to give it is whatever number that they gave us, right? That would be in inches. And then here I'm going to convert. Take num and I'm going to times it by the constant 2cm. And so that will convert it numerically to centimeters. And then put the units on there like that. Okay, so given some number here, this will show the message dialog. Whatever number gets passed in here will be displayed, and inches is, and then here's the conversion to centimeters. So what I need to do in convert to liters is really similar to this, so I'm just going to cut and paste, or copy and paste, right into this, and then just change it in the appropriate spot. So first, this first line is going to have to change it to something that's more reasonable, 2 liters, and here was the value that I need, 3.7854. It's going to go right there, and then JOption pane show message dialog, and that should say gallons, right? We're converting from gallons to liters. Num, so right now num, right, is not defined inside here, inside this method. That whenever I call this method, I'm going to have to pass, so I need to go back and put this parameter in num, and then 2 liters, and of course change this to L. Okay. So I've got the input here, and I've got these methods doing what they're supposed to be doing, it looks like. And so the last thing I need to do really is to kind of link them up. Here in the main method, when this program gets started, it will just get the input and then it will quit. It won't do anything else. It'll just run through these commands and not even go to these. So what I need to do is to put in a call to each of those methods. Alright, convert to CM. So now when it hits this line, it will call the message convert to CM. Convert to CM is expecting a integer as a argument in here. So I'm going to pass it this thing, which is the variable which stores the integer that the user input. So now when I run this, it'll get the input and then it'll make a call to this method. Say, okay, I'm going to call convert to CM. Whatever the variable number is holding, I'm going to pass, and then it will pass that to the method. It will execute this method body right here, and then return back to the calling class, or calling method, in this case the main method. So then I also want to do this to convert to liters, so I need to put in a call to it. And then also need to pass that user value to the convert to liters method. So, okay, so let's take a look and see if that, try to compile it. And it looks like it compiles okay. And let's try to run it. Oops, I hit the wrong button. Alright, please enter an integer. Okay, I'll just put 1. 1 inches is 2.54 centimeter. 1 gallons is 3.7854. Try it again with some other random number. Let's say 12 inches is 30.48 centimeters. 12 gallons is 45.42